So I wanted to do a kind of longer form video on Cardano and just give my, honest thoughts about where I think it could be going this cycle, what it's done so far. Um, I really like it as kind of like a premium Dino pick in a sense that the way XRP rallied, Cardano could rally similarly, Litecoin could rally. So this cycle from kind of 2023 was when we really started getting bullish. Solana started popping off, memes started popping off, and the cycle has been kind of predominantly around memes, memes as a category, as all everybody's been focusing on. But if you kind of look through and try and see the bigger picture away from memes, we've got all of this institutional interest, the ETFs kicking off, all the suits coming in. So we have kind of the retail side, the degens that have expanded into this crypto market, obviously, with Solana. But we also, on the other side, have lots of institutional investment. The suits are coming into this. And I think a lot of people, a lot of market participants in general, have kind of ignored the fact that these guys in suits are coming to play now as well. For me, my kind of thesis on what this means for the market is that these guys are looking for coins that have had long term success within the industry. A very volatile, come and go industry. They're looking for coins that have been prominent. They're still alive, um, and with that, my thinking comes into dinos. So ADA, XRP, we saw what happened with XRP. Litecoin is a big one I'm interested in as well. Dogecoin, all these coins that are old dinos, quote unquote, that could get the ETF or institutional interest. So I'm looking, I'm just looking at ADA here, and I'm kind of trying to bring in the bigger picture. Now, just kind of on the face of things here, where we're at, we've had this really long kind of range here. What I'm looking at is a three tap setup here, which is an initial drive up. We put in a range high and we put in a range low. Then we retest that range high and or range low. This can be inversed as well. We sweep down to mid range and we retest the supply zone again. This is kind of traditionally a bearish setup on the market, and if inversed, I would usually long. If this is the right way up, I would usually short. So my kind of thinking on the market as a whole, we just had, as I'm filming this now, we just had the 25 basis points cut from the Fed. So everything's kind of up and down. But just looking at this, my initial thoughts are that we kind of retest these range lows here, and then we go into kind of ladder up and ultimately start kind of the bull market, if you will. So on a kind of shorter time frame, I'm looking for this, but on a longer time frame, we'll just look at the weekly here. You can kind of see that ADA is putting in a beautiful bottom. I mean, these are not the areas that you sell in the crypto market. Depending on the time frame, we're ultimately looking for expansion from these levels. I mean, we started this in 2022. It's now 2025. We've been kind of 3 years round here. So you can kind of see my three tap drawing here where we've gone down and come up. Just zoomed out. So you can see that I'm looking for this Cardano phase of the bull market to continue to kind of range highs. This is where you book some profit, you sell half your position, and then you let the rest ride, really. So in terms of kind of Cardano USDT, I'm looking for a bit of a shakeout, but I'm going long for kind of 1 to 2 years, however long it takes for us to hit this all-time high. I'm going to be de-risking a lot at all-time high, just because it's a massive gain. 3.5x with size is very solid. If we transition this into BTC, so A to BTC, and I want to put this on the monthly, just because there's a real nice setup. If we throw the Bolly bands on here, so this is kind of done two waves against Bitcoin, where we pumped initially in 2017 and again in 2021. We're coming down. We're kind of coiling similarly to how we did in 2019 for a kind of third wave up. Now, looking at these Bollinger Bands here, we're squeezing. We are squeezing hard. So it lines up with our USDT sentiment of, is it going to increase in price against the dollar? Is it going to increase in price also against Bitcoin? And being that Bitcoin has gone from 16K to 120K with very little alt movement, I think we can be pretty sure that as the USD price increases, it's also going to increase against Bitcoin. Looking at this is really tight. It might take another month or two. The Bollinger Bands might do this before it breaks out. But ultimately, with this setup, you're looking for expansion of the bands. Now, that usually comes with expansion of price in USDT, which aligns with our initial dollar setup here. So overall, I'm really bullish on Cardano just because of the setups I'm seeing on the chart, my theory behind the institutional interest within the industry. So we'll see. Like I said, I think it's going to come down to 0.68, and it's a major buy if it comes down to 0.6. No question of it. I mean, realistically, if you weren't using leverage on this, if you weren't trying to catch a leverage play, you would be buying now and you would just be averaging down anywhere from kind of 0.87 to 0.68. If you're using a leverage play, you probably want to wait and see if we either go up from here or if we break back above here and enter here before we carry on. But if we get 0.68 on ADA, I'm going to take a pretty decent sized leverage position aside from spot. Hope this was helpful. If you have any thoughts of your own on Cardano, drop a comment. And if you want to see any other coins, just let me know. Love.